After escaping America in the last month of the year, Nat and I have made our way through 14 days of hotel quarantine in Australia and into a cozy one-bedroom apartment in Sydney. This will be our home for the next few months. We're still figuring out how to share a closet, which is stuffed with Nat's clothes and my camera gear. But we're happy to be amongst family and friends in a country that has managed to do an amazing job of body slamming COVID. So there are a lot of positive things about living in Sydney. The weather is amazing, the food is incredible, the beaches are beautiful, and there are also some negatives. Just a couple days ago, we found out that we live next to a feeding ground for the world's largest bat. I'm not even joking, that's a real thing.
What the fuck? Oh, no.
Honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to go outside at night or even fall asleep, but I guess that's what you get for moving to Australia. Since it's the start of the year, it's usually a time when I set an intention and figure out which habits I've been neglecting and the ones that I really want to focus on going forward. And as I look back on 2020, there were certainly habits that I let slip more than usual, like weightlifting, meditation, and healthy eating. I lived a much more sedentary lifestyle than I would have liked, but it's a fucking pandemic, so I'm gonna give myself a break. But as I started to reflect, I did realize there was one thing I wish I did more, and it's read. So before I started making films on YouTube, I was an avid reader. It was really the thing that got me first interested in self-development. It's what inspired me in my early years as a freelance filmmaker. Books really taught me how to be a better human. They taught me so much about business, and it also gave me a healthy escape. I often found that when I would read a couple hours at night, I would feel fulfilled, I would feel relaxed, I would feel excited about the day that followed. But if I finished off my day with watching a couple hours of TV or browsing on social media, I would feel drained, I would feel overwhelmed, and I would feel anxious. But something changed when I became a full-time content creator. I became so consumed with creation that I stopped making time for inspiration. Being a full-time creator, especially a YouTuber, can be really demanding. You've got an upload schedule to stick to, you so often feel like you're falling behind, and as a result, your learnings become one-dimensional. You start to invest all your time into filmmaking or creating, and as a result, you begin to fall behind in other areas. So I didn't make a conscious decision to stop reading. It's something that simply happened over the years. You know, I went from maybe reading 50 books to 20, and eventually last year, I just read a handful of books. I know how good I feel when I read. I know how much fulfillment and creative energy I get from reading. And so I've decided that that's gonna be the one habit that I focus on this year. And since I talk so much about habit change on this channel, and since I even teach a course on it, I thought I'd break down exactly how I plan to get this habit to stick. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get specific about my goal. Simply just saying, I want to read more doesn't help me much. That's an idle wish, not a specific goal. So instead, I've decided that I'm going to read 2 books a month. I do think it's important to say I'm going to do this instead of saying I'm trying to do this. So often we approach something with a lack of confidence, and that seeds into everything that we do, and sometimes it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy to not really have that confidence to say, I'm absolutely gonna do this. I'm really dedicated to this. I know that there's no way I'm going to fail. Of course, deep down, we know that we're gonna fail. We know that there are gonna be times when we slip up and screw up, but I think having that confidence from the get-go is really helpful. And so I chose to read 2 books a month for a specific reason, because it fits into what flow researchers call the flow channel. For your habit to fit into the flow channel, you don't want to create a goal that's too overwhelming or a goal that's too easy. You need to find your own sweet spot. If it's overwhelming, it creates unnecessary anxiety and stress, and as a result, you might avoid the habit completely. So I thought about it at first, and in the beginning, I really wanted to read 1 book a week because, well, I'm a perfectionist, and it just felt really neat and orderly to read 1 book a week. But then when I really started to think about it, I realized that that would just add an unnecessary amount of pressure on myself. And conversely, if it's too easy, let's say like reading 1 book a month, the challenge would be too boring. It won't excite me enough to keep up with the habit itself. In order to grow, you need to face some sort of resistance. There needs to be some kind of challenge, or else it won't be interesting enough for you to keep up with it, and you won't see any true growth from it. And so for me, I chose 2 books a month because that fits perfectly into the Goldilocks zone for this habit. Next, it's important to put together a plan. Instead of just winging it, you're giving yourself a guide to follow. It's like planning your route before an expedition. You might face an unforeseen challenge, like a grizzly bear or, I don't know, the world's largest bat. And that might force you to change your approach, but this plan will help you get started. I'd suggest putting together a plan for the first 30 to 100 days. And when it comes to my own habit of reading, that's gonna be pretty simple. To get started, I'm simply gonna pick the first 6 books that I wanna read. That will push me past the 100-day mark. So the first 6 books are The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, Willpower by Roy Baumeister and John Tierney, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, Good to Great by Jim Collins, Dare to Lead by Brené Brown, and Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. And this is even going to be the order that I plan on reading the books in. Of course, that's probably going to change as I get going. I tend to get inspired by one book, I might want to dig deeper into a specific topic, or I might want to switch it up and do something completely different. By planning ahead like this, by picking out 6 books, by batching it at one specific time, it allows me to take that weight off my shoulders to have to really come up with on the spot every other week a new book to read. And this is something that I'm going to do as I get a little bit closer to that 100-day mark. I'll start to think about what are the next 6 books that I want to add to my queue. If your habit is exercise, you can put together a 4-day workout routine that you can alternate. If you want to meditate daily, you can find an app to get you started and create a plan for when you're going to meditate during the day. Put it on your to-do list or add it to your calendar as a reminder to take action consistently. And while you've got your calendar open, take a look at the first couple months and identify any times when you're going to get really busy. These are going to be the periods where you have to plan ahead because they're going to be the moments when you're most likely to fail to build that habit. And if you miss a couple days in a row, if you miss a week, you're so much less likely to be able to get back up and to get going again. I've created a few ground rules for my habit that will help me. So here's Matt's 2020 rules for reading. The length of the book doesn't matter. So if I'm having a busy couple of weeks, I'm probably not going to read a 900-page novel. I'll happily swap that for a short 100-page read. Just because you start a book doesn't mean you have to finish it. If after the first few days I'm really not feeling a book, I'll set it to the side and move on to the next one. Maybe I'll revisit it, maybe I'll replace it with another book completely. You can read books that you've read in the past. While I want most of my books to be new, I'll allow myself to revisit old books that have inspired me in the past. And the last thing that I've done to help me to get this habit to stick is to create accountability. And I've done that by making this video. Now I have 3 million accountability partners that I know are going to be DMing and messaging me throughout the year, asking me what book I'm reading this week. But don't worry, you don't need an audience really of any size to be able to create accountability. You can find an accountability partner like a workout buddy. You can join a cycling club or a book reading club. You can also make a post to your own social circle online on Instagram to let people know what you're working on and what they can expect to see out of you in the coming year. One of the things that I was most proud of last year is building the Slow Growth community with my team. If you're looking for accountability or just a dose of inspiration, you can follow @SlowGrowth on Instagram and use the hashtag #SlowGrowth. We share content there every week to help you on your journey. So if you're really serious about getting your habits to stick this year and you want an even greater dose of accountability, then you can join my habit course called Simple Habits. The course takes you on your step-by-step habit journey, helping you develop the right mindset to succeed, and it provides the keys to habit discipline. Each lesson is densely packed with actionable advice, tons of resources, and a workbook to get you to take action. You also get access to the Slow Growth Slack community where you can find inspiration, guidance, and even find an accountability squad. So this is our Slack group. We've got a few channels here, one called Accountability. This is where members create their own accountability groups to help stay committed to their habit goals. If you want to learn more or join the course, you can go to slowgrowth.com/simplehabits. If you don't have the budget right now, I completely understand, no pressure. Just know that there is a 30-day growth guarantee or your money back, no questions asked. Whether or not you join the course this year, I wish you all the luck in your habit goals this year. I absolutely hope that you kick 2021 right in the nuts. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to kick a year in the nuts because I feel like last year, 2020 kicked us in the nuts. Now it's our turn to do the nut kicking. Thank you guys for watching this video. I so appreciate it. I'm so excited for this year. I'm excited to read more, to learn more from you, from the books that I'm reading. I'm very excited and very grateful to be here doing this, as always. Love you guys. Bye. Did he just say he loved us? I did.